Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. Dave and Dave, go check out what they're doing, Warrenton especially. 4 new fields, turf infield, grass outfield. They're doing a great job with that. We saw some pictures over the last weekend, a couple weekends. We should get some more. But what's happening out in Warrenton with the new fields, turf, gotta love it. There you go. Good stuff coming up. Get on their website at Game7Baseball.com. Register your team. Get your great tournaments 9 through 14. Got some great stuff going on there. Get registered. Get into some tournaments. We'll be out there with them. We're going to be live streaming some 14U championship games. We got our interviews. We got our trivia. We got some new stuff. Don't miss out. It's a lot of fun. Spring, summer baseball. Always a good time. Finishing with the World Series. Game7Baseball.com. You like that one, right, Drew? I got to get Drew in there going, .com. Right, dude? That's my engineer over there. He takes good care of us.
Yes, sir.
On the show today, I have Jason Howard, Elsberry Post 226.
Yes, sir.
Didn't think I remembered all that, did you?
Oh yeah, you got it down pat.
Well, I know my son. He played some Legion baseball. He played up there.
St. Peter's, right?
He was playing with St. Peter's. Yep.
Plus 313.
Yeah.
Rick Reno.
Yep. And so very familiar. I played a little Legion ball myself. Back in the olden days. Right, Drew?
The ball and rock.
Right?
The stick and rock, yeah.
We're going to talk a little Legion baseball today. It's always fun. We've been working with American Legion here at Youth Baseball Midwest, our company, Red Earth Productions. Having a good time. Last year, we were able to live stream that was a lot of fun, the All-Star game at Busch.
Yeah,
right?
the All-Star game was very fun. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience that I got to coach in. So
That's right. You were there, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And Gavin Woodson.
Oh, yeah, Woody from our program.
He had a great inning
He
in
did.
baseball.
Yes, he did.
Baseball, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I mean, that was...
He represented 226 well, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was lights out.
Yes, he was.
And so where's he going to play ball?
He is going to Mineral area.
That's right.
Yep, Mineral area.
That's right. I think he's got a solid arm. It'll be interesting to see how he does down there.
Yeah.
And where he's going.
So this area back here is basically production. They do a lot of the artwork back here. They do the production. So any of that stuff that comes in off of, we'll say, our fanware stores, stuff that comes in off the team stores, a lot of the coaches wear, a lot of the last minute, hey, we got to have it in the next 10 minutes stuff. That's all comes back here. This area is where all the day-to-day stuff that comes in really goes through. The retail store is its own little entity. This is where the real work is done.
Let's start off here. Post 226. Let's talk a little tradition here. Talk to us about the Post.
So Post 226, I should remember the year, but I don't. When I got involved, it's been so long ago. I would say probably, I know it's 18 plus years ago. When I first got involved, Joe Pott was the guy that brought me on. So him and I, his son and my brother, about the same age. And at that time, they had senior Legion baseball there at Post 226. I think Jay Herring was involved in all that. And then Jay had started a junior Legion program because for years all they had was a senior Legion program. So Jay brought on the junior Legion program, and then so Joe Pott and I decided, well, we got these boys, let's get a freshman team going. So we started that freshman team, and like I said, I wish I could remember the year, but it was 18 plus years ago, the exact year. But since then we've had all 3 programs: freshman, junior, and senior, and we're just trying to keep it rolling. I've been involved ever since.
You guys have a Legion field. You have a field out behind the Legion Post,
yes,
correct?
Yep. We are one of the American Legion Post, one of the few in the state of Missouri that have their own field that we don't have to rent a park, and so we have the luxury of that, and we've got a really good backing with the Post there and the guys there. that help us out there. But yeah, it's pretty nice to have your own field.
Yeah.
It makes things a lot better to host tournaments and things like that. So
who is the maintenance crew?
our maintenance crew is one guy with a lot of volunteers. So Daryl Painter is the guy who's actually, the field is named after Daryl and his father. So Painter Field is what it's named after. Daryl is a guy up there that just, most humble, nice guy you'll ever meet. He's retired now, but he has been mowing our grass, trying to take care of our fields, dragging, doing whatever we need, to help us out to get it going. It takes a lot of volunteers, and Daryl's probably one of the biggest ones there. And he takes pride in that field and making it look good.
I love that.
Yeah,
we played there. We were, out behind it's one of the few, and I think that's cool. I think that's the most difficult thing for any program.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, having field space, getting that field,
Right,
being able
right.
to practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. And we've since, so the high school's now using that field as well. So they used to have their
really?
field downtown. Well, now we did some upgrades probably a few years ago, and we got the Elsberry High School playing there now as well, so they take advantage of it. And we've done some upgrades a few years back. We probably need to do a few more upgrades now, but we're volunteer based just like anybody else. So
Right.
we do what we can, especially for a 3-month season when it comes to Legion baseball. 2.5, 3-month season. So it's all crammed in there for sure. But
Talk to us a little bit. So 18 plus years, that's a while.
yes.
There's been a lot of ebbs and flows. What, American Legion baseball from what it was then to what it is now, what do you see and what do you think's, been, the differences, and how do you keep Legion baseball relevant?
Yeah, see, that's the trick. So when we first got in, I can remember, we started out the freshman. The freshman was kind of just getting started, and I think that was it 2010? At one point, we had junior Legion baseball. We had 16 teams.
Wow.
Is what we had in 2010. I remember specifically.
Is that just in the one district?
That was just in District 9 baseball.
Wow.
Yes, and definitely, like you said, it's had its ebbs and flows, and and I've been there along the ride. I'd say the trick is, you just have so many other options nowadays.
Right.
These kids have so many options. When it comes to American Legion baseball, I love American Legion baseball. I love what it's all about. I love what it represents. And I think the trick is just, getting that misnomer about American Legion baseball and the competitiveness, because there are a ton of competitive teams, competitive players, and if you want to play at the next level, it doesn't really matter what, where you play, what club you play for. If you play for American Legion baseball, to me, it's all in the player. And if the player wants to go to that next level,
I don't disagree with that.
That's, I feel like, what is going to deter that. That's the one two. And so, but when it comes to American Legion baseball, what's happening is, my personal opinion, is that at the younger age is when these kids are 7, 8 years old now, starting to play ball, and they get on a team. They get on a club, whether it be a club team, whatever, and they end up staying with that team, with that group. They may change organizations or whatnot, but once you get them, in those clubs, it's just hard to pull them in when they get to the high school level to play American Legion baseball. Most of them are staying with those clubs, is kind of what I've seen over the years, and so we get players, we get up field teams and everything, but obviously there's some players out there that you would really like in your program and help build that program. And but it's tough, man. There's so many different places to play and so many different options compared to when I first started 18 plus years ago.
Well, and I think this goes to this, and we talk on this program, and we're talking Legion here today, but we talk a lot on YBMcast about clubs, and I don't have a problem with. To me, American Legion baseball is club baseball as well.
Right, yeah, I would agree.
What's different, but we put these labels on these things because we call it American Legion baseball, and that's fine.
Right.
Call it American Legion baseball, but it's still a club. You guys got a club. You got
we're still a club.
teams
We're
at
still an
different age
organization.
levels,
Yeah, you're right.
So as a club, what are you offering? And I think this is what it's come to. And we can say what we want to.
Right.
But summer baseball is different than high school baseball nowadays. And I've done enough interviews with kids
right.
and talked to enough kids that even the young man
Brady.
we know
Yep,
together,
Brady
your
Creech.
brother.
Yep, my brother Brady. Yeah.
He said the same thing. Summer baseball compared to high school baseball. High school baseball is where you really have what I think in the summertime, American Legion was always, still team, very oriented that way.
Right.
Well, summer baseball has become a thought process more to showcasing your talents, being able to put yourself in front of coaches and things of that nature. And I think that's the shift maybe where American Legion didn't go to.
I would agree with that. And that's the thing. American Legion baseball, what we're trying to do is get kind of to that, where we offer those things, where we offer the showcases, where we offer the off-season training and things like that. And that's where we really have to do if we want to pull in the best players that we can get. And I think that, you hit the nail there by saying, they just offer these kids, they want showcases. They want to be in front of colleges. They want to know who's there, who's watching them. That's what they like. They like the social media stuff, the posting, all this player scouting and things like that. And these rankings that I've seen you guys do and then PBR does and all that stuff. And that's what the kids love to see. And that's where I think American Legion baseball has got to do a better job, as a whole of trying to, promote those athletes and things like that.
And one of the things, here's just looking from the outside in, and I think you can maybe answer this question. And I want to go here first before I go to that next. Let me ask you this. Here's Elsberry post 226, right? You've got some good teams around you. I don't know where you pull from.
We can pull from Lincoln County and Pike County pretty much, which is Troy. We get Troy, Winfield, Silex, Elsberry, Louisiana, Bowling Green. Even some Hannibal kids, depending on where they live. So we've, that's the thing. We can pull now that Troy doesn't have a Legion and we're the only post around there. We can pull a lot of kids in, but you're not getting those best players per se from a Troy. They're on a club team. You might get them their senior year when they've committed and signed somewhere. But we pull from a lot of places.
So, and because Winfield, Brady, that's where he plays. And Winfield, Coach Stokes, they got a solid team again.
Yeah, they do.
We're opening our GAC
right
live stream season with Winfield at St. Charles West.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be a good game.
That's going to be a really good baseball game.
We lost a tough one to them in the district championship last year. Yeah.
There is a heck of a lot of talent on both those teams.
Absolutely.
So this is why I'm saying, and I understand you got it. There's elite level talent, and I think I think Legion may not. I don't know. Maybe they do. But what is Post 226 doing as a club that says, "Hey guys, if you come here, we can help you develop. We can continue the process to get you where you want to go." How do you assess that? How do you answer that question to these kids?
So the way that I answer it is we just tell them, with us, what we try to do is we try to bring in good, solid coaches that can help with that, because a big thing for us is the player development, and that's where, we try to tell these kids, like, look, like I said earlier, if you want to go play at the next level, it's really on you. I don't care what program you play for. It's in the player. You take a kid like my brother Brady, he wants it. And there's not going to be anybody that wants to outwork him. And so that's where I always try to tell the kids that, you come to our program, you're going to get coaches that care. We're going to be passionate. We're going to try to teach you the game. We're not only going to teach you the game, we're going to teach you life lessons, because it's just more than just a game out here, right? We're trying to teach young men to go out into this world and be productive, citizens. So, and that's what we try to do at Post 226. We try to develop players, not only on the field, but off the field. We're looking for kids that want to come in and work hard. And that's where we really try to sell, that we're trying to help with the player development. And if you want to go to the next level, we're going to do everything in our power to get you looks. We're going to try to get you in contact with these coaches. Obviously the kid has to know, the player has to know where they want to go. What do they want to, go to college for, and all that stuff. So what do they want to study in? And once, and that's, like I said, what we try to do is we really try to push that. That's what we're all about.
Do you guys have like off-season programs and things like that?
We did last year. This year we kind of have not, and the reason being, I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, why didn't we, do this again last year or this year? Because last year I thought it was a pretty good success. But what we noticed last year was we were getting kind of the same kids at and it's mostly some of our kids, you know, things like that.
That's okay.
But where the community that we're pulling from, most of these kids are all playing basketball or wrestling or doing something like.
Yeah.
So the time, you know, is just, it's so hard to figure out when you can do it. I mean, we're not where we got, you know, we got multiple athletes like Brady. He's a basketball, soccer, and a baseball player, and players like that are playing multiple sports. You got basketball going on right now. They're deep, and now, you know, as these high school seasons go on, everything else, I mean, these kids are practicing every day. I mean, even on Sundays, you know, so it's very hard to get these guys, you know, in somewhere and get a workout in. And even at the high school level, you know, some of the kids we've got up in Clopton, I didn't mention Clopton earlier. Clopton's another school we pull from. They've got guys that have been, you know, going in, doing their workouts and everything else. So they're kind of getting their work in, you know, on their own. But yeah, that's definitely something that we have offered in the past, but, you know, we didn't this year, and I'm kind of wishing we would have,
Right.
you know.
Well, and I think,
But it was just the amount of kids that would have been available to make it.
I understand, and I get,
Right.
but I think as a club, there has to be that consistency. The kid knows I
Right.
can come here,
Yep.
I'm going to get the work, and if you can make it, if you're playing a other sport, I get
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Those
Yeah,
things.
and that's how we were last year.
And a lot of the smaller schools, you get a lot of 2, 3,
Yeah.
you know, even
Multi-sport
4
athletes,
sometimes.
yeah.
3 is usually tops today, but you get those multiple sport athletes, which I understand.
Right.
You know, but I think, and one of the things that I think with American Legion is you do have those traditions, you do have those opportunities, you do have, but do you believe, and you can, you know, I'd love to hear what you say. Do you believe you have to create some of the same opportunities that you've seen within the clubs outside of American Legion?
Oh, absolutely. If we don't, then we're not going to be able to get, you know, some of the players that we would like to get. And that's, you know, like I said, that's why we tried to do the workout stuff last year. The other thing too on the workouts, not to make excuses for post 226 per se,
No,
but
I
what
understand, Jason.
you know, from our perspective, it's a financial thing too, right? And that's why we try to make it, you know, as cost effective as we can for these players to play, you know, but we try to do some more fundraising. We're trying to do more fundraising. We're trying to do things, you know, because you like I said, you have to understand most Legion programs, it's volunteer.
Yeah.
I've never been paid $1. Yeah, matter of fact, I've spent a lot of money over the years, you know, coaching. So, but you know, so, and I think that's one of the biggest things is it's a financial thing, and that was probably more of a decision, you know, sad as it is to say, but it costs a lot of money to do that, those trainings and those, you know, those programs when you're getting 5-6 kids showing up. So.
Well, and here's the thing, and I think this is an interesting point. You know, if a kid goes and plays at one of the Rawlings or, you know, Mizuno, you got Midland, you got whatever the case, club baseball, Tigers, you know, the Naturals down south, whatever the case may be. You got Festus down there who's put together pretty good squads over that way.
Yep.
Go down towards Jackson, there's still some good school. You've got opportunities there, and I think this is what's interesting, and I love the thought process of keeping it affordable.
Right.
Because I think there are a lot of kids and a lot of families, if there was an opportunity to maybe, hey, I can spend less money here, but I can still get instruction, right?
Yeah.
Where I can maybe afford this a little bit more because over here, I'm not paying as much just on the fees for all these big tournaments and things of that nature.
Right, yeah, and that's the other thing too. That's one thing I try to sell, you know, to parents and players as well, is that you can still play some quality baseball, you know, and not have to pay near as much. And if you want to go, you know, and what we always do too is we can get into these big tournaments and stuff. There's nothing stopping us from playing in these big tournaments and things.
Exactly.
You know, but I think it's a matter of you've got to have the talent and you've got to have the arms and you've got to have all that stuff to be able to go do that. So, you know, and that's the thing, you know, if you look at which will be our senior Legion team now, they've had some pretty good success over the last couple of years. They made some state runs and things like that, and they've got a lot of good players that they were able to bring in together and run up through the program. And I think the thing about it is that they all wanted to work hard and come in as a program, and I think that's the thing. He's got the arms. Coach Creech there, Chad, who's going to be coaching that team for us, he's got the arms to do it and everything like that. And we'll pack that schedule. we'll play.
Go find some
we'll go
yeah,
find
go
tough
find-
teams to
yeah,
play,
absolutely.
and show people what we can do. What American Post 226 is about.
And that's the other thing too. You can go get into just any tournament.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I think sometimes maybe I personally like the thought process of playing during the week, the schedule, the grind of the schedules there. Now, getting practice in, yeah, absolutely. Still doing all those things. But I think maybe some of the Legion coaches ought to take that next step, maybe go and play one of these tournaments in this and start showing there's nothing wrong with that. I think this is who you're competing against. These are the guys that you're getting recruited against.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you go compete?
Yeah, and that's exactly with that team specifically, which they got in a tournament, I think, last fall, and they got to the championship game. I think 2 years ago, they did the same thing, got in another fall tournament, and they actually played in the championship against, it was a lot of post 218, a lot of Washington kids. So you had two Legion teams playing in the championship of one of these tournaments. And like you said, that's a thing. There's nothing stopping us from going getting these tournaments and playing against some of these club teams and whatnot, and showing what American Legion Baseball is about, because we have some good players in our program.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And like you said, the ebbs and flows is what we're trying to figure out how we can stop that, and let's get up here and stay up here. Especially because, and this may be a little off topic of what we're talking about right now, but this is one of the things that I see with American Legion Baseball in a whole, especially for Post 226. What happens is, like I talked about earlier, you can't get them at a younger age. But then fast forward to Senior Legion, like this year, our Post 226 Senior Legion team is going to be stacked. They've got quite a few boys coming in from Troy High School, Jackson Ryder, the Weaver pitcher. I mean, they've got quite a few good players that are coming in and going to play on that Senior Legion. Jackson Ryder's coming and playing Legion for Elsberry. So Post 226, I mean, they've got and then with Brady coming over full time now, and they're going to have a really, really solid team with Woody pitching, and Gavin Marshall. Got a lot of kids returning, but that's what we're seeing is the senior level. We can get these kids come over and play, because they've already committed somewhere. There's no need to spend $1,000.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. But and I'm okay with that. But I would love to have a Jackson Ryder
when he's
15, a freshman. Yeah,
right?
when he's 15. And think about what we could have done. I mean, I'm just thinking about a couple years ago with that Junior Legion team, and if they have Jackson Ryder and a Weaver, and they made it to state and were this close, and just couldn't get over that hump because they're missing that that player or two that if we had, then they're right there, and they're winning the state and they're going on to regionals and with a chance to get to that World Series. So
let's talk a little bit about District 9. Yeah, Elsberry's part of District 9 and is probably one of the better districts in the state.
Yes, yep.
Washington, of course. That's a juggernaut down there.
Oh man,
Getsy turns out.
Yeah,
team after team.
They do, and I've got a lot of respect for them guys. Been coaching against Getsy for years and years, and probably lost more battles than I've won, unfortunately. But that's what we're trying to get to. I mean, we're trying to get to Post 218 level. I mean, if you go on their website, you can just see all the zone championships, the state championships, the district championships. They just win year after year, and that's what we're trying to get to. But yeah, District 9 baseball. I mean, our numbers are down as far as teams this year goes a little bit, which is,
we're not all quite there. I don't think everybody's registered yet. Right?
Yeah, that's right. We still got a lot of registering to do and everything like that. But, yeah, District 9 as a whole, we have one of the best districts in the state of Missouri as far as I'm concerned when it comes to American Legion baseball. I mean, in St. Charles is they're trying to get things back up and going. I mean, I think this year they've got all three programs, freshman, junior, and senior. Yeah, Russ is doing a great job over there. So they're going to have all three levels. I think Wentzville's got a freshman and a senior team this year. So they don't have a junior team, but they got a freshman and a senior team.
Wentzville, they got a senior team too?
Yep, they're going to have a senior team. Yep. So
is Rick Anselm still part of that?
Rick is behind the scenes. He's behind the scenes doing that. Daryl Daly's the guy kind of running that program now.
I spoke with Daryl.
Yep. But Rick is wanting to get back in, I think, in a couple of years. I know he had a couple kids, and had to take some time off and be the father he needed to be. So, but yeah, Rick is still behind the scenes. Rick and I talk, quite often. So
I want to give Rick a shout out because it was Rick that suggested our company, REP, to Missouri American Legion Baseball, and we've been working with Tom Rhodes, the chairman. And Tom, I think, is doing a great job. I think he's working hard to bring all of these things about, bring the American Legion Baseball back into the consciousness of the baseball community.
Right.
I do think it got kind of lost in the shuffle.
Oh, I would.
In not everywhere, but as a whole.
I would agree with that, absolutely. And I think Tom is trying to do a fine job of getting things back to where they used to be, that relevance of American Legion Baseball. Because definitely, there was a little time there, we were in a little slump, and it was tough to get players and teams and programs. And I think we're on the right track.
Yeah,
I think we're on the right track to get back to where we need to be. Like I said, with these teams and these programs, actually having teams at every level, that's a big thing. Because I remember, St. Charles always had 3 levels. St. Peter's always had. St. Peter's another one's going to have all 3 levels again this year. Rick Reno on that, he's going to have all 3 levels. Freshman, junior, and senior. So that's
just if you put all 3 levels at every post.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That's
right?
huge. Yeah, that's absolutely huge. Yeah,
and and people might be listening. They go, "Oh man, Brian, what are you talking about? You have to be honest first."
Yes, absolutely.
To correct something.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Right.
And that's the thing with us at American, at Post 226, we've always tried to have all 3. We've had all 3 programs I've been involved, and some of them we may not have fielded the team, that we wanted to, but we just knew like, hey, we got to keep this thing going, because like anything, if you lose it, it's going to be hard to get it back.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I saw. So,
and you look at District 9, Washington, I think is that gold standard there.
Absolutely.
They won the senior and the freshman championships last year. So you're going to have to face that squad coming up for the next 2 years.
And Coach Volgerding there at the junior level, I believe they made it to the state championship. We're runner up.
So
and that was a team that we battled a lot last year.
Good luck with that.
Junior. We played them. We actually last year we beat them in district play, but then we just couldn't get them in the district tournament at the end of the year.
And that's good. And Kent Getsy does a great job. They get talent.
Absolutely.
They get guys. And I think that's the thing. So and I think those are the models, and having those conversations with those types of directors, when you're talking to a Kent Getsy, what are you guys doing? How are you setting those things in motion? What is the process? And taking some of these models that are successful, because working with Joel Anderson from St. Louis Sports Productions last year, I called the state championship tournament, the senior AAA
out there at Fike. Yep.
No, it was
Blue
at
Springs or Sedalia.
It was at Sedalia last year. It's going to be at Blue Springs this year.
Was juniors at Blue Springs?
I think so.
Yeah, the juniors were at
Jim
Blue
Moran
Springs. Jim Moran. Yep.
And man, Oak Grove Pacific, Jackson, Festus, Sedalia, Washington. It was a really good tournament.
Yeah, it was.
It was high-level baseball. Guys, I mean, Washington had to work their butt off to win that thing.
They did, yeah.
Festus, great. Jackson, Oak Grove, Pacific. They got a good win against Pacific, and I did not. I was like, man, Pacific looks pretty stacked.
Yeah.
And Oak Grove come out, got a good win against them. It was a tough tournament to win. That Sedalia Washington game, it was 7 innings. It was 1-0.
Yeah.
Connor Line pitched a complete game.
Yep.
Gave up, and I think the run was unearned.
Yeah, from Sedalia. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, there's good quality baseball, and the thing about it is too, like I said, when we talk about District 9, you talk about Post 226, who actually beat Oak Grove and Sedalia, and I believe in the Fike tournament, the Wood Bat Fike tournament last year. So we're right there too. So you throw us in the mix, and there's some good quality teams and with some good quality players.
That's what I mean. And so that's the biggest thing, is getting that information and making that. And that's what we hope to do here with YBMcast. I'm hoping, we're going to be live streaming the state championships again. Mm-hmm. And so we're hoping to bring a little more that way out at Bush with the All-Star game. We're looking to do a little bit more that way and cover that, because I think there's some really high-level baseball. And that's all we do here. It's still, to me, I don't care if it's American Legion or club, whatnot. It's baseball.
Right. It's still baseball.
Let's talk baseball.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what we need to do. And I think there's a place for every kid to play. And even if you're a high level talent, hey, if you want to play American Legion, play American Legion. There's instruction. There's all kinds of things. There's opportunities. You can get seen. And then the last thing, Jason, American Legion for the first time hooking up with PBR this year.
Yeah, hooking up with Kevin Mulder. I was kind of involved. So Tom Rhodes, our chairman, he's got me involved in a little committee, the All-Star Committee. So I'm involved in that and all that. So, yeah, I was on some of the meetings and them calls with Kevin Mulder and PBR. And we're bringing the PBR showcase June 19th, I believe is the date. It's going to be at SLU. So, yeah, that's a big step for us. And what we talked about earlier is these kids wanting these showcases and things like that. And so we at District 9 had our own showcase for our district that Kent Getsy would put on out down there at Ronsick. I'm in Washington. And we've done that for years. And but we think we're going to not do that this year. We think this PBR thing is the way to go. And actually what we're doing at District 9, we voted as a board that we're going to, any of our District 9 players that want to go to this PBR showcase, we're going to give them $100.
Oh, wow.
Towards their fees. Yeah. So because we thought we did the, kind of the math on what it cost us to run the showcase. We did the free showcase and whatnot. So yeah, as District 9, we're going to, every player that wants to sign up, they're going to get a little code or something when they sign up, a voucher. And we're going to pay $100 for District 9 is going to pay $100 for every player that goes to the PBR showcase. And then on top of that, Post 226, I know personally, being the director there, we're going to pitch in and pay the difference of, so if it's $180, we're going to pay the $80. So that way any of our players that want to go are going to get to go for free. And I know that I think Post 218 and some of these other posts have talked about the same thing. So
sign me up. Mm-hmm. And I think here's the thing. You get into that. You get in. You go and you put your numbers. You get into the rankings.
Yep.
And it's just the whole thing because it's usually based on your high school where you go and you see a name. Whether you're 225, you click on that. Somebody clicks on that, and you see American Legion Post 226.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I don't see. And I think that is a thought process to those things. Hey, wait a minute, American Legion here now? Well, you haven't seen that much.
Right. I agree. I think it's nothing but it's going to be beneficial and a positive thing for American Legion baseball.
And that's the point. We want to help you guys get to that next level too. We have our traditions. We have our ways of doing things, and I don't think that should change, Jason.
No, I agree. The thing about it is, you had said something earlier about the clubs and there's a place for everybody to play and everything, and I agree with that. And my take on it is that, there's so many good players out there.
Yeah.
There's so many good players out there. And the thing, too, about American Legion Baseball that I think a lot of these clubs have over us. I know you say we're a club, too, but I think the ones that the boundaries, that's what – I can't just go at Post 226. I can't just go say like, oh man,
right. I get that.
This is a great player from XYZ. Let's get him to come play for us.
You can't pull him from 3 counties away.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's the thing. We've got to try to focus on our counties, our guys, our schools, and get them to play together.
How many of the players though in that county really know that they can play at your post?
I think the majority of them do because I have a good relationship with Coach Rogers at Troy. He actually used to coach at Winfield.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Coach Rogers and I are good friends. We got Coach Stokes. I obviously, I'm on the staff at Winfield High School. Elsberry, Coach Yasna. We've got good relationship with a lot of these coaches. So a lot of these players know about it, but and the coaches can, when I've sent flyers out whenever tryouts and things like that, and they can push it and tell the kid, but these coaches no high school coach is going to tell their players.
I agree.
Where they play, and I don't think you should, right?
I agree.
So they're going to pass the information on, and if the kids have a question about it, that's all we want. Because like I said, though, I think that some of these high school players and even maybe parents too, they just don't realize the quality of baseball that we can produce.
But see, this is where I think because, you say, hey, we're club baseball.
Yeah.
I understand it's within these structures, but it's still Post 226 is its own club within American Legion.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we can't go play. I can go over here and play a pastime tournament or this tournament.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? How do we want to? And I think that's where the conversations with parents and whatnot, these are the costs we have. And I think that's the interesting thing with American Legion. I think it's adult conversations, though. Look, folks, we have this tournament over here. And look, these are really good teams over here. We're going to go compete. If we want to set ourselves in this and see what you do against some of this, we can do that. This is the cost. This is what,
right.
Because I understand and I believe this, and I think that's one of the great things about American Legion baseball clubs is it's a little more cost effective.
Right.
And so how do we maintain that? How do we do that, but yet continue to create opportunities for these kids to showcase themselves in the summertime?
Right. Absolutely. Yep. And that's the thing too. Like our senior Legion team, they're going and playing. They're going to. Oh shoot! I'm drawing a blank on the. I should know. They're going to Terre Haute, that big tournament out in Indiana. Then they're going to. They're going to a tournament. They'll go to the Fight Blue Springs tournament, and then they're going to Murray State in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there's 3 tournaments there, and that Terre Haute, that's got some of the best Legion teams in the state that you're going to see. In the country,
right?
Not the state, the country. But we also have, I think, Washington's going to be there. We'll be there, Post 226. I believe I heard Eureka's going this year, and I heard that there's another one, Kirkwood, I think. So I think there's 4 teams going to that one.
Chris Copeland, his group over there, they're working hard, man.
Yeah, they are working hard.
We're going to get Chris on the show.
And they've got some good programs, all 3 levels going also, So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things happening in American Legion baseball, but I think it's just, like you said, we're just not out there. We're not out there pushing it. We're not in front of the social media and things like that.
Oh, we are now.
We are now. You guys are doing a good job at it. Promoting that and pushing
fun.
it. Yeah, having some fun doing it.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing great work. So and we appreciate that for sure.
Well, and that's what we're doing here, YBMcast, and this is what I talked with Tom about. We're getting a little more traction, getting to know people like yourself.
Right.
Coming on the show here, because this is all about baseball. And like I said, we open it up to anybody, but with the amount of people we're starting to get talked to, I got Kent Getsy coming on. We'll be getting Chris Copeland coming on. We've had, it just went blank. We had Russ on here not too long ago. Who did Chad Wilkinson,
Okay.
Oak Grove. He's good. We had him on the show. And
Coach Bone, who's Festus.
Coach Bone, Festus,
and Jeff.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more we can do this, and we because of this, we started to put a playlist together that's just Legion baseball talk.
Yeah.
And I want to do this more. And I hope you come back on.
Oh, I'd love to. I appreciate you having me.
And just
absolutely.
talk baseball and talk about the clubs in Legion ball and what you're doing and continuing to grow that. And I think this is the conversations that need to be had. This is what I started this channel for.
Right.
Was just to talk baseball at every level. What are you guys doing? This past few weeks we've been live at some of the clubs, Rawlings Training Center, whatnot. I'd love to come out, as we grow and we do this more Legion, we'll come out and do some lives out there.
Yeah, we'd love to have you out there at Painter
Right.
Field up in Elsberry. Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be killer.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, absolutely.
Heck, and you got your own field. Maybe we get out there and live stream.
Yeah, we got your own field. We got
Get
the
out
setup
there
to
with
do
Washington,
it.
man.
Yeah, we'll get. Yeah. Now Washington will bring their KPL, whatever that. John Covington, they come out and broadcast out there. So
Yeah, they do the radio,
the senior,
right?
They do the radio stuff out there. But yeah, we'd love
No,
to have you.
we do TV, baby.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Cameras.
Let's see the cameras. Let's see the live. But one of the things, just talking about American Legion and baseball in general, and the thing about it is too, what I would like to push for American Legion baseball, and letting people understand, parents, players, whatever. The other thing too is we are the closest thing to high school baseball around.
In the summer.
Yeah, in the summer.
Yeah.
We at the freshman level, now you have state, you play your district tournament, then you go to state and you got state championships. But at the junior level, you play your regular season, you're playing for something, you're playing for a district title, then you got your district tournament, you win your district tournament, you go to your zone tournament, you win your zone tournament, you go to state, you know. So
And they
then at the
used to-
senior level, they used to have a regional after the zone tournament in Junior Legion, but they don't have it anymore.
Because I know my brother-in-law
Yeah.
coached Baldwin's Junior Legion team, and they won.
And got
the
to go to
regional.
regionals. Oh, they
Yeah.
won the regional?
They won the regional.
Wow.
It was held at Emporia State.
Yeah.
They won the whole thing.
At
That
the
was
Junior Legion
Baldwin.
level. Yeah, that's awesome.
And that team was good. That was
Yeah.
a really good baseball team. And that's what I wish Legion would bring that regional back for the junior
Yes,
level.
that
I think
would
that
be
would
awesome.
be cool.
I think it would be
I don't
cool.
know if they will or not,
Yeah.
but
I would assume it got. I want to say it went away because maybe COVID. I'm not sure.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think, and then like I talked about earlier, if we don't have all three teams, it's hard to get it back. So I think kind of you're dealing with the same thing,
Right.
that you lost it. So now it's like, oh, we can live without it. But I think it's something that they really need to think about bringing back because, that's just something else to play for. It's something else to tell your juniors to play for.
Exactly.
Because at the senior level, you have it. You have a regional, and then you could have a chance to go to the World Series. So if you have it at the junior level, I just think that's something awesome for these players.
And I know Kent will probably do this. It'll be interesting and I want to talk to Kent, but I want to see what are these invitations? Where are the invitations going out, and how are you taking? Because you're talking about the top teams at that junior level. If you're getting to a regional situation, now they played it at Emporia State last year. What is American Legion doing to get the coaches there? How does that work? And how do we do this at a state level with some of these tournaments? How are those things happening? What's going on? And how do you, the relationships with some of the NAIA, the JUCOs, the Division twos, what are those relationships like?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like I said, American Legion Baseball and the 7-inning games too. You're playing 7-inning games, so you get a full 7-inning game. And I'm not knocking tournament play and things like that, because when we have tournaments and we host tournaments, you got to put a time limit on them. If you don't, you're going to be there all day,
Right.
But that's the thing. We're pushing, when you push American Legion Baseball, I don't think that I think there's a place for all programs, club, whatever it is, American Legion Baseball, whatnot. And I think, me as a post 226 director and a District 9 president and things like that, I'm not going to go on and bash clubs and other things like that, because they all serve a purpose. They all have a place.
Absolutely, Jason.
And the thing about it is that it's just a matter of, like you said, what's the player want to do, and, if they want to get together with their close buddies, and play, or they want to go play at the elite level. I mean, there's a place for everybody. But it's just one of those deals where, we got to promote American Legion Baseball and not worry about what everybody else is doing. Let's do what we can do to better our program and our product. And I think if maybe you get more, lower level, the youth teams. When I say lower level, I mean ages. Try to develop that way and kind of start getting maybe some feeder programs for your Legion teams and things like that. That may be something that might help, bring them in.
One of the things too, and I want to finish on this because I wanted to do this because this is something we do because we have access with Kevin Mulder. It's a great relationship. Love having Kevin on talking about players.
Yes.
Because we can see. And so it feeds to the teams. It feeds to the clubs. Well, this kid is playing at this club, and we know these things, and we go back and forth talking about, what they're doing in high school, what they're doing in the summer. One of the things we really don't know that much about is the players on the team.
Right.
And I think that's a crucial part. And what we want to do in helping this, the promotion of this, who are your dudes?
Yeah. And I think you guys are doing a great job at that. I know
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you legit,
Yeah.
who are your dudes?
Well, I mean, we
Brady,
mentioned one of
I
them.
know.
Yeah, Brady obviously is one of our dudes.
Obviously.
But I mean,
and we're going to have him on a player spotlight.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at Gavin Woodson, Woody.
Right.
Woody's one of our dudes.
I got to get Gavin on the show.
Yeah, Gavin, I can get him on there. I can make that happen. Yeah. But I mean, we've got a kid, Alex Kinney from Winfield.
Yeah.
This guy can mash. He can mash. I mean, we've got dudes. I mean, in our program, Lance Stuckey is a kid you probably don't hear a lot of. He's a kid from Troy. Troy's got a really good program. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't on the varsity team last year, but he's probably going to be on there this year. But I'm telling you, he's a dude, man. Lance Stuckey is a kid that will fly around the field and play anywhere. And he played Junior Legion for me last year, and he's a dude. I mean, there's a lot of dudes out there. I mean, there are. I mean, and that Senior Legion team is going to be stacked. I've got my junior, I mean, all three levels, we've got some dudes. I mean, we've got kids from up in Bowling Green on that freshman level, and we're finally getting to that place in our program where, we've always been at a place where we got to push kids up to keep teams competitive. Well, now we're at a place where I feel comfortable enough. We're like, hey, if a kid's young enough to stay down, we don't have to push him up. Now if he's a stud, we're going to play him at the highest level he needs to be playing at.
I agree.
If
he's a freshman, he can play junior
If
Legion.
he's a freshman, he's playing junior Legion, he's playing junior Legion.
Right.
But what we've had in the past is we've kind of got those kids that are can they compete at the junior Legion level? Yes. But
is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this year our freshman team, I mean, we've got some kids coming back. Brendan Schurter from Bowling Green, Jack McDaniel. I mean, Joseph Dameron. There's, I mean, I could go on and on. There's a list of kids that are coming back on that team that's going to have – that freshman team's going to be pretty tough this year. And then same thing with my junior Legion team. I've got Brady Ullinger from Troy returning. We've got a catcher out of Troy, Miles Gillespie, who's catching for us. We were able to get Sean Phillips from Elsberry. Or not Sean Phillips, Colin Phillips, Sean's brother. You probably heard of Sean from Elsberry, but Colin Phillips, he's going to be playing for us. I mean, so we've got some dudes up there, and I got a kid from Clopton, Pete Daskalakis is how you say his name. He's throwing in the 80s, and he's a junior,
Oh, very
and
good.
And he's probably mid to upper 80s right now as a pitcher, and so there's some dudes out there. I got nice little lefty Mason Pruitt from Winfield coming in, playing for us Junior Legion. But yeah, like I said,
Jason, it's funny because everybody. I mean, it's the sexy thing when you're 90 plus, right?
Yeah.
You hit that 9-0 and it's like people, whoa,
yeah,
right? And I don't disagree with that,
right.
But you get a guy throwing 85 to 88,
Yeah,
and he can spot, has good off speed, a little run, a little life.
yeah.
It's hard to hit,
in and
right?
out, up and down, man. In and out, up and down. And if you change speeds a little bit, man,
85 is fast.
That's fast. And that's the thing. I mean, if you know the game and if you've been around the game and you see it, you can tell the difference between 70, 78, and 8 to 80 plus. I mean, it's a big difference. And if a kid's throwing 80 plus, 85 mile an hour, I mean, he's got a good arm.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And that'll get you into that. Listen, that'll get you into some really good schools.
Yeah.
High level D2s.
Yeah.
That'll get you into some places that you can continue to develop, and maybe your arm develops a little late, and you get to 90, and you never know where it takes you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're sitting here talking about. I could go on and on with these players. Can't take a lot of credit for Jackson Ryder because he didn't play. This will be his first year in our program, but he's another dude. He's
Jackson
committed.
Ryder can play.
Yeah, he's committed to go somewhere else. We got Caden Kinsler, who's from Elsberry. He's another dude. He's committed. Again, we can't take credit for him because he's just coming in our program, but that's the thing though. We're getting these kids. They come in. Senior Legion has always been a place where we can always put a really good product on the field. But we want to get that at the freshman level. So whatever we've got to do, freshmen, and work these guys up is what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. I dig it.
Yep.
Jason, man, that was good, bud. I enjoyed
Appreciate
that a lot.
I did too. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Absolutely. We'll get you back on. And that's
anytime,
especially
anytime.
talk players.
Yeah.
Throughout District 9, I'd love to get that's why I want Kent Getsy and some of the other guys from I got to get I don't think Rick wants to come on, but if I can get Ryan maybe to come on.
Yeah, maybe get his son Ryan.
Yeah, talk a little baseball, Ryan.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because I'm learning a lot of these players myself too, being on that All-Star committee.
Right.
And so you learn about and then getting to coach that. I mean, there's some dudes out there,
listen,
man.
that was a really good baseball
That was a
game.
really good baseball game. Anybody want to watch it? If you haven't watched it, I suggest pulling that up and checking it out.
All you got to go.
That's some
all you got to do is go to MissouriAmericanLegionBaseball.org, go to the baseball page, and it's there. All you got to do is press play.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game. A lot of talent.
A lot of fun.
Talent. Yes,
Illinois,
sir.
same thing.
Yeah, same thing, man. They got some dudes over there.
Yeah. So it was a 7-inning ball game. Went right down to it.
Yep.
Mo turned it up 4-3.
Yep.
Going to do it again this year?
Oh yeah, we're doing it again this year. I think June 23rd this year.
No, you're going to win it again.
Oh, we're going to win it again this year. Absolutely. Yeah.
I know we're going to play.
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah.
Win it.
Oh yeah, we're going to win it again this year. We're going to make sure we feel that team out there that's going to be a little different dynamic this year when in the voting and the picking of the players because it's a lot earlier.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to really take into consideration high school stats and all that stuff, and just knowing.
But that's okay.
Like I said, knowing who your dudes are.
Yes.
I mean, we all know in every program
Hey,
in
but
the state of Missouri.
You get 3-4 weeks in,
you're gonna know. Yeah.
You know who is and who isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, most programs and most of us, Russ and all these guys that we're going around and checking these guys out and figuring out who we want to pick, you know, we already know who most of the dudes are anyway, you know. So
Exactly. I agree.
yes, sir. But yes, go Missouri. We're gonna win that All-Star game again.
Folks, Jason Howard, post 226 Elsberry. Legion Baseball, you guys got a website information?
We have an old website. It's just a league lineup website. We need to probably clean that up a little bit and get that, you know, up and you know, more accurate information. But yeah, it's league lineup. I think Elsberry post226.com, something like that.
There you go. Follow them on Twitter, post226 baseball.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, we got all that good stuff.
Actually,
so.
X. Sorry,
Yeah,
X.
X. Follow us on X.
Post 226 baseball. I think it's post 226 baseball for Instagram too, right?
Yes, Instagram and then on Facebook we're just Elsberry Elsberry American Legion Baseball post 226. You can find us.
There you go.
So
Follow
look us up. Yep.
Follow them. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like what we're doing, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button right down there. Hit the dinger next to it because chicks dig along.
Yeah, chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah,
sure.
Right. And that dinger, though, will get you all notifications for upcoming episodes such as this. You can check out all you want about American Legion Baseball. We do appreciate your support of Youth Baseball Midwest, YBMcast. Got some great stuff coming up. Great content going on across the board. Got live stream games, high school games coming up. Don't miss out. Great stuff. We appreciate it. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. Hitters, give them some advice.
Barrel the ball up.
I like it. There you go. Barrels are good.
Yep, barrels are good.
We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.